Something I want to show you here that I didn't tell you about the warming cabinet. I have a little temperature sensor in there, and it's connected to my Accurite weather station system. So this is the outdoor weather station. If I scroll down here, there's different things here, and one of them is warming cabinet. So you can see the temperature has been pretty much room temperature here all along until here. We're looking at 20 degrees. I just now put it in there, so it hasn't realized that it's actually 45 degrees in there now. It's warmed up a lot faster than I had expected. So that's really nice. This is available on a mobile app, so I can watch this when I'm away from home and see if my warming cabinet is gone off the rails or not. So here we go. Okay, this graph says, so this is just the graph of the warming cabinet over the last, well, since midnight last night, and it shows right now 30 degrees in there. It's spiking up since I put that in there. We can go to 24 hours, which will look very similar. You can go all the way up to 31 days. After you get past 24 hours, it starts giving you daily max min numbers. So of course this was the min for today. It was 13 and the max is 30. Very nice to be able to monitor this from away from home. Helps me sleep well, helps me be confident that my honey isn't overheating. I had an Inkbird controller previous to this, and it was very unreliable. It would overheat, and I did spoil some honey because of it. So here the warming cabinet's been running for a while. I've got this set on a 7-day interval. So you can see here where there were times when I opened the cabinet to pull some pails of honey out, etc. And the temperature varies a little. This sensor also monitors humidity and barometric pressure. Those are not very useful statistics as far as the melting cabinet goes. What is useful is I have another one here in my bee barn, and so that gives me a reading of what's happening in there. I love to see a flat line here. That means my HVAC system is working perfectly, and I also get humidity readings for in the bee barn, which is very interesting. It's not, again, very useful because I don't control humidity. It looks like we're varying 55 to 65% humidity, which I don't think is a problem in any way. We can go 31 days in the bee barn. I was messing with my HVAC there earlier in the season, and it wasn't keeping the temperature as consistent as it is now. But as you can see later on in the graph, things have locked right down. Like there's a period of time when 4 degrees bang on every day. Here it's 4 to 5 degrees because it's quite warm right now. It's actually 5 degrees outside. So the air that's being pulled in is only 5 degrees. So there's not much cooling going on. It's keeping the temperature. So again, this is back and forth, 4 to 5 degrees. The cooling fan starts at 4.5 degrees and shuts off at 4 degrees. But this temperature sensor is not connected to the controller, so there is a calibration error. However, I have the controller set to 4 degrees, trigger at 4.5, and shut off at 4, so they're pretty well in step. Again, I have a humidity reading here, so you can see as time goes on the humidity comes up a bit, and barometric pressure as well. And again, not a very useful statistic for the bee barn, but it's there regardless. So I really like this system. I like the fact that I can check in on it when I'm away from home. I check in to make sure the bee barn is working, especially if I'm away for, maybe overnight or something. It's Accurite. They have a module to upload data to the internet so that you can get this online thing and you can use the mobile app. So if you go to Accurite.com, you can see all their products. And if you're interested in putting something like this together, you don't need a whole comprehensive weather station to do it. They have their new Atlas stations. They have the 5-in-1. Actually, this looks like the one that I have, 5-in-1 with a display in the house. That's not what you need to do what I'm doing. What you need, so actually this little package right here is exactly what is giving me the ability to monitor my warming cabinet and the bee barn. So it's this little sensor here that I put in the bee barn and in the warming cabinet, and I have a few others as well. And then this is the Axis, I think they call it, that interfaces to the internet for online and mobile device access. And so 160, this is a US site, US dollars. Looks like it's on sale right now. They have sales quite regularly, but not always. These little guys are about 20 bucks a piece, so they're pretty reasonable when you want to add on. Reports data up to 7 sensors simultaneously. If you go to the alerts tab, well, these are the generated alerts. So loss of signal, the batteries are low, or you can see here, bee barn high temperature above 3 degrees. It doesn't mean that over 3 degrees is bad. Below 3 degrees is what I wanted to know, but I also need to know when the temperature rebounds back above. So these alerts are set up in the alert rules. Okay, a little cumbersome interface, but you know, if you stay organized with it, it's very useful. So what happens here is when an alert is triggered, maybe a system alert where the battery is low or it can't reach one of the sensors, or for whatever reason, it'll have a system alert or custom alerts. These are the ones I create. Okay, so I can collapse these bee barn alerts. I only have bee barn alerts. So these alerts are only telling me, you know, the temperature is below 2 degrees and then temperature above 2 degrees. That's not a bad alert, but that's telling me the temperature has rebounded, which is good. If I'm away from home and I get an alert saying it's below 2 degrees, then I start to worry, but I don't realize that it's actually rebounded. When these alerts are generated, I have it set that it will send me an email, and it will actually send me a text message as well. So it will send me a text message alert that the bee barn is too cold or too hot, or the warming cabinet is too hot, or whatever I want to set up, which is really nice. So you can not only monitor the temperatures intentionally, but you can actually be alerted to temperature discrepancies. That's kind of a nice system. Helps a guy sleep, helps a guy not worry when he's away from home. I hope that helps you. Just thought I'd share. Have fun.